Atheer brings not only a workflow solution, but also enhances the man-machine interface. The gesture technology that Atheer has is unparalleled. Atheer brought capabilities that we didn't think would be available for some time today.
Welcome back, viewers. We are in Mountain View, California, talking to Suleiman, the founder and CEO of Atheer Air. So these glasses actually have the camera on it, right?
Yes. So actually this system, as you see, has two RGB cameras, stereo cameras, and this is a depth sensor. So it's in infrared and it knows the depth of different objects. So it gives you a map, an image, where every pixel is the distance to the object, and it works on infrared technology. It also has head motion tracking, 9 axes, and it has, of course, all of the audio, microphone and all of that. And this is all in the headset. And then you connect it to a device that's basically a smartphone. So it has a battery, Wi-Fi, you can have LTE and all of that. It has a smartphone mobile processor. In this case, it's the NVIDIA K1. And the idea is to as soon as possible, replace these devices with smartphones so that you can just buy a glass and connect it to whatever your smartphone is. But the reason to replace it with a phone is that phones are built by huge companies, they scale, and the availability is very important. And then having an accessory that empowers your phone and makes it more engaging will affect many people's lives.
So when you convert this to a phone, means you're trying to then get to consumers, people like us. At that time, would you have to change the look of that? Because that's still kind of heavy for me to wear around all the time. I can't get used to doing that for the whole day.
Yeah, ultimately, when AR and glasses get to consumer, yes, the form factor will be much smaller, it will be much lighter, and fashion will have to play a part of it. So it will not be like standard techie glasses. Fashion companies and design companies will be a big part of that play, because you're putting something on people's faces, and even if they're not putting that all the time, it's very important to them, right? That's part of the experience also that you want to respect.
How far out is that?
So the technology is improving year over year. It's getting cheaper, better, faster, and the experience is getting optimized. The expectation is that around 2019, 2020, all of those will be consumer ready. So you'll have light, small, cheap glasses for everyone.
Young and dynamic with a great sense of humor, Dr. Suleiman Atani was born in the middle of a civil war in Beirut, Lebanon. He grew up in such defining times when he had to frequently miss school for the first 7 years of his life. He learned at a very young age that education should always be a priority. This 36-year-old founder of Atheer Air from Silicon Valley has spent time trying to understand how the world operates and is passionate about improving everyday life and making it easy through new age technology.
How did you start this? I want to go back to that journey of yours. Tell me all about the beginning.
I'm from Lebanon. I did my undergrad in computer engineering there. And then I was lucky I got a chance to go to MIT for my master's and PhD. And there I worked on drones and unmanned aerial vehicles. Also, luckily, afterwards, I got a postdoc in cancer research here at Berkeley, and that's how I came to the West Coast. And you know what they say, you come here to Silicon Valley, you get the bug pretty quickly. So I was working cancer research, which is, of course, amazing. And then I got this idea that I mentioned to you about what if I can have my phone replace every other computing device that I have. And I started working on it. And I was lucky. I got great support, great funding, a great team, and things just accelerated.
Well, that kind of credentials on your back, any big company would have picked you up, but you took that leap of faith and you said, no, I want to start a company and rough it out. So what was that like for you?
If I'm going to take a risk, I might as well take it as early as possible, because then if, in any case, I have time to go back and do the big company thing. While if you go down a less risky path, then risk starts becoming scarier and scarier to you. Once you're used to something that is comfortable, it would be harder to jump to those risks. So coming from being a student and not getting paid a lot, it's not as scary. While being paid $500,000 and then jumping to being unpaid is much more scary.
Well, that actually makes so much sense, and I think it should be told to all the young graduates coming out of college that if you really want to do something, change the world and take a risk, that's the time, because you are already on a rough path, and then you just have to sort of rough it out a few more years, and then you're set, right?
Exactly.
So who are your customers today?
Currently, our customers are large companies. We are focused on the enterprise, and they go from medical devices companies where you would want the doctor or the nurse to get this information without having to touch anything because of contamination, to auto manufacturers, aero-astro, and power companies. So it's a pretty huge spectrum.
So have you already marketed the product? Someone's using it? Can you talk to us a little bit about the user experience?
Yeah, the product is in the market and it's used to help teams collaborate better and be more productive. And some of our automotive customers are rolling it out to all of their dealerships in North America. So it's just a matter of time until you see this everywhere around you in an enterprise setting.
Now, you look very calm and collected. So how do you manage stress in the Silicon Valley environment, being an entrepreneur? Tell me about that a little bit, because I think our entrepreneurial world can learn a little bit about how to handle stress.
I wish I can have better advice. I had to learn it, I had to go through it, and I had to feel the stress and then reach a point where you'd say, no, I need to be balanced in this, and I need to be internally centered. And then after that, everything from meditation to exercising to just treating priorities differently, like making sure you have time to eat right and exercise independently, because you will be more productive and a better team member. To support your team better, you have to be healthy and relaxed. Every entrepreneur comes at a point where they're like, I just want to work harder and harder and harder. But then you come to this awareness that working smarter and in a more balanced way is the right approach.